What did you steal?
Secrets.
Disclosure Day is Steven Spielberg's best film in 20 years.
Are they people?
No.
Are they human?
My God.
Spielberg does this better than anybody in history.
I can see them. They're coming.
Disclosure Day. Rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters Friday. Get tickets now.
Pretend AI gives you brand new knees, the ability to play like you're 18 again. Yes, that all-American Sheila Gibson. What women's basketball player are you taking one-on-one for some hidden gold that's hidden on the island?
Angel Reese.
Started as a kid with a team to believe in. Every win and loss left my heart still beating. Year after year through the rain and the sun, learning that faith is what makes us strong.
The kick is up, and the kick is good afternoon, and welcome back to the Superfan Diaries. I'm your host, J.R. Greene, recording from our studios on Broadway in downtown Nash Vegas, bringing you the biggest sports, the biggest moments, and the biggest fans, celebrating passionate sports figures and their unique stories. Yes, legends. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share your own game day traditions or stories online. Today, we have a very special in-studio guest. I'm J.R. Greene, and this is a story about a woman who played the game and then spent the next 30 years making sure other women got to play it too. Before the boardrooms, before the press conferences at the Ryman, before helping put professional women's basketball on the map here in Nashville, there was a girl with a basketball on a court at the University of New Orleans who had no idea how far that love of the game would take her. She is an All-American, an executive, a community builder, an advocate, and now the woman behind one of the most exciting developments in Nashville sports history. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right here in the studio, Sheila Gibson. Welcome to the show, Sheila.
Thank you. That's quite the intro.
I like to give it. Let the crowd. I mean, as you can see as a live video person, look at all the cars. This is kind of a fun spot.
This is cool.
We had our fun little interaction to get to know each other before the show, little green room prep via Zoom, call it old COVID style. And she even said, I can't wait to see this. But this is what you get. And when people start walking by and they peek their, faces up there, it gets a little distracting, but hey, what can you do? That's called Nashville. It used to be called Hollywood. It's just called Nashville now.
That's right. And you've been doing stuff as long as I do, you learn to deal with distractions.
Absolutely. All right, let's start at the beginning. You played college basketball at the University of New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Take me back to that version of you. What did basketball mean to you?
Oh, wow. So, you know what? Actually, I'll take you back a little bit further before I got to New Orleans, because before I got to New Orleans, not just basketball, but athletics was everything to me. Growing up in small town Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Oh my goodness, you grew up in Oak Ridge?
Yeah.
My mom grew up in Oak Ridge, and my grandfather, half my entire family went to Oak Ridge High.
Last name?
We're the O'Connors. The John T. O'Connor Senior Citizen Center.
Okay.
So that he was mayor of the city. That's my family.
Yes. So yes, I was everything about athletics, just, growing up from elementary, middle school, high school. And so, of course, out of high school, I did want to continue that love for at that time, basketball. Coming out of high school, I actually stopped playing because I played everything, like softball, basketball, volleyball, all of it.
You're an athlete.
But I did, develop that focused love for basketball. And out of high school, I signed a scholarship to the University of Alabama in Huntsville.
Okay.
And so I stayed there for 2 years. And then I transferred to the University of New Orleans.
Okay.
So yes. And in between, played AAU and, all of those things that are part of being an athlete at a young age.
Well, not just an athlete. You're an All-American. Let's focus on that. You're an All-American, which puts you at the top of the heap, the percentage. What did that take, the sacrifice, to get to that level?
So, and I was an All-American in high school, and then I went
at Oak Ridge High.
At Oak Ridge High.
I mean, this is just awesome.
And transitioning to University of Alabama in Huntsville, I was an All-American my sophomore year. Now, again, my story is, kind of different because out of 4 years of collegiate basketball, I only played 1 full year of basketball.
4 years on scholarship, and you played 1 year.
On scholarship, 2 years in Alabama, 2 years at University of New Orleans. But across those 4, I only played 1 year, full year of basketball, and I made an All-American my sophomore year.
In the 1 year.
That's in that 1 year. But then like so many athletes, the injury bug. And so, yes, I've had 4 knee surgeries. 3 of those surgeries happened during my collegiate career.
Wow.
And yes, but you know what? But hey, that's an important part of my story,
Yeah.
an important part of coming out of college and the path that I took, an important part of my story in regards to once I got here in Nashville,
Yeah.
working in corporate America. Again, the path that I took, because when you're an athlete, and it's in you. It's
Yes.
a part of it. Once an athlete, always an athlete. And so when I got here to Nashville, I worked for HCA.
Yes.
And,
30 years.
that's
You're not
right.
just working. By the way,
That's
for
right.
those listening, HCA is, I believe, our largest employer in the state. And maybe the TVA would probably be number 1. So I'll back that statement off. I think it's probably the second largest employer in the state.
And it is the top health system in the United States.
Yes, by far the
yes,
largest.
By far the largest as far as revenue, not size. But yes. So and I've been blessed because HCA is a company that just really encourages us to reach back out into the community, do community work, and so through that, being able to do that has also allowed me to continue to feed that passion and love that I have for sports.
Well, I mean, think about this. You're a senior executive, HCA, 30 years, assistant vice president in IT. You chair culture and values councils. You've won diversity and inclusion awards. That is a full career in itself. And how does someone hold that world together with everything you do in sports and community and with your career? That's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And I've been doing a lot for a lot of years because I came to Nashville to work for HCA in 1996.
Right.
And like I said, I've been on a lot of boards, but one of the boards that kind of fueled my basketball or sports passion was the Nashville Sports Council.
Yes.
And
Scott
so-
is the CEO, correct?
That is right.
By the way, I'm going to tell you a story. And if you run into Scott again, maybe he'll even listen to this. And Scott, I'm apologizing up front, but about, I don't know, call it many, many years ago when Tennessee was in the NCAA basketball tournament here in Nashville.
Okay.
I was with a good friend of mine who happened to be the CEO of the SEC network.
Okay.
And I was with him and we were standing there and there was this gentleman who I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about bowls, football bowls.
Okay.
And at the time, I'm sitting there thinking as a typical Tennessee fan, historically, we've been amazing getting some big bowls. We weren't going through that a while. And then one of my friends said, what bowl do you want? I said, I don't know, any bowl besides the Music City Bowl, because that means we are the dirt bottom of the SEC. And then all of a sudden, my friend looked at me and goes, JR, God dang it. This is Scott. He's the CEO of the Music City Bowl. And I said, hey, no. I don't mean it like that. I love the Music City Bowl. It's great for Nashville. It's a beautiful bowl. It's going to become even probably one of the top 6 once we get our new stadium, Sheila. But you could see me eating my words. It called my mouth going like, I didn't mean to say that. And Scott just looked at me and goes, I understand. Typical Tennessee fan. And he's like, but obviously during those time periods later, we'd have been lucky to get to the Music City Bowl.
Exactly. Yes. And HCA is a huge sponsor of the Music City Bowl. Yep. So yes, through just working for HCA and being able to be on different boards that, allowed me to not rediscover, but just to continue to address the passion that I have for sports. And, with the Nashville Sports Council, I led the Women in Sports Committee for them. Yep. And again, just another avenue to continue feeding the passion that I have for not just sports, but women's sports. And so that's been great. But, going back as I think about, the number of years that I was an athlete, I feel like, as a young girl, it's in you. And of course, all of the different opportunities and influences and, opportunity to play AAU and all of that. It was there. I played AAU.
Yes.
So a whole different scale of AAU now for girls. I mean, because a lot of young girls that are signing scholarships, they're signing scholarships through their engagement with AAU as opposed to through their schools. So AAU, as I knew it when I was growing up, completely different level of AAU now, and the engagement and the exposure that these young athletes get, through playing AAU ball. And I don't even, it's like the circuit and
Oh, there's
you
so
know,
much.
The
I mean,
travel teams.
Oh, don't even start on travel
and
teams. I mean,
all
we
of
could
that.
do a show just on travel league teams and probably have 1 million followers. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
that is such a big thing. But you
Yeah.
just mentioned something pretty powerful. Sheila, you were talking about the years you had, 30 years, and even plus some more back going all the way to Oak Ridge. What do you think has changed the most in the culture around women's sports that you've physically seen?
Well, I just mentioned one, and that's just
Yep.
the exposure of women's sports, the opportunities for girls, and not just not just basketball, which is what I played,
Right.
but one of the wonderful things is that it's not just about basketball opportunities in basketball anymore. It's opportunities in basketball, volleyball, softball.
I mean, women's
even
volleyball
tennis.
is becoming one of the
Yes,
biggest. I mean,
that's what I was getting ready to say. It's
shocking. It's
that's
like
right.
hugely
That's right.
successful.
And you have, I mean, even here in Nashville, you have so many of the travel teams
Yep.
across the different sports, and that's different. That's different, when I was coming up. But
Yep.
like I said, AAU was there, and I'm sure some of those other organizations was there, but nothing to the level that is happening
That's
right
coming
now, and
today.
the opportunity that's here right now for these young athletes. And
That's right.
and just like anything, it's great, it's awesome. But me as a person that coached AAU, I see some downside to it too,
Okay.
and I hate that downside.
What's
that
the
I see
downside?
to it. The
You said it. I have to ask.
I know, and it's actually one of the reasons why I got out of coaching AAU, because as I came to Nashville, I was coaching AAU as well, because again I was hurt, and so that was how I was still feeding that passion.
And you talked about this before with me, that you start as a player back then,
Yes.
and you usually become a coach.
That's right. That's kind of the trajectory
path.
of a lot of athletes,
Yep.
women athletes my age, in my age range. You play, and you have the vision or goal of at that time going overseas,
Yep.
or playing, that at that next level. If you don't do that, then a whole lot of women then get into coaching.
Right.
And that's what I did. I got into coaching, but I was also working in corporate America. So I was coaching AAU, and I just saw it taking a different turn from the perspective of it wasn't all about the player for everyone that was involved.
I understand.
And,
Yep.
Yes, and I really didn't like some of the things that I was seeing. One thing being the cost.
Yes.
It's one of those things where if you're an athlete, well, now if you're an athlete, you're usually going to be in the circuit or playing on a travel team that's sponsored by a tennis shoe sometime.
Yes.
But it wasn't always that.
Right.
And I think I was coaching at a time when it wasn't that.
Right.
It was getting there. So I'm not surprised that the opportunity from both the exposure, but also the cost to play and the sponsorship from those
Right.
large athletic companies is there. I'm not surprised it's there, but the road to get there was
Very different.
different, and not like I didn't like it.
Totally makes sense. I mean, like one of my friends, he's an athlete. He was a baseball player. His daughter was a good softball player. Okay, she was good. She wasn't elite, but she was good.
Right.
And then the coach point blank said, "Hey, if you put her into my extra coaching program, it's an extra $100,
Yeah.
4 days a week.
Yeah.
She's going to find time to play. Do you know what that's called? That's called pay to play. Pay to play. That's like stocking allowances back in the Procter & Gamble days when you put your shelving allowance. You pay a little money to get that shelving allowance.
Right.
That's a little bit of the world right now that
Right.
we've seen, and it sounds like that's what you went through as well.
The transition to get to the vision.
Yep.
And the end point is we all know, and that's just part of life. The transition can sometimes be not what we would prefer it to be.
Yep.
And that was kind of what I feel like I saw with AAU.
Well, thinking about AAU, let's jump back to the things we do love and we are passionate about, and a lot of that, especially for you, is community service.
Yes.
And I want to get this right. You serve on the boards, Play Like a Girl, obviously the Nashville Sports Council,
Yeah.
the Tennessee Performing Arts Center. What connects all of these for you? Because on the surface, they very much look different, but I suspect they have a similar mission for you to be this passionate about them.
Yes. And I'm no longer on Play Like a Girl, but I'm still very supportive and passionate of Play Like a Girl. I did roll off, but
I used to be on the Nashville Zoo board, and I still love the Nashville Zoo.
so the connection here for me, there's several. One is impacting community. impacting youth because I love impacting youth. I call them my young leaders.
Oh, love it.
And so, and then also just, that connection of being a mentor
Yep.
and providing guidance because I love mentorship because, I always tell people, I don't even remember hearing the word get a mentor until
No, it's said in corporate America every day.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Until I started working for HCA
Yeah.
in corporate America, that was when I was this new word, kind of came into my life.
Yep.
But growing up, I do not remember being told to get a mentor. Whereas now, it's just like it's easy. I mean, it's natural. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a sponsor. And even though we had them,
Yes.
absolutely, I had a mentor, and absolutely,
You did.
I had a sponsor. And understanding the difference between the two is
Right.
important. But I know that they existed. They were just not called that.
Right.
And so that's kind of the connection across all of the different organizations and boards that I've served on.
Mm-hmm.
One, it is to impact community,
Yep.
to impact awareness, and to impact youth and opportunity for women. That's kind of what drives
Love it.
my community passion. And a lot of it is because when I think back of, what was not there for me.
No,
And,
it was not there.
No, it was totally not there. And so I always tell, like I said, HCA encourages us to reach out and impact the community. And I always tell people I've taken full advantage of that by all of the different
you absolutely
boards
have.
that I've been on. And then also, you mentioned at work I work in IT.
Yep.
So I oversee.
Which is the center of the world now. It's just the center of the world. I mean, can you go to a conference that doesn't talk about AI? No.
Exactly.
It's on every agenda item.
Exactly. But you also mentioned that at work, also am the chair of our Culture and Values Council. And I'm so proud of that. And
by the way, just for people to
success.
understand, she's the chair of one of the largest companies in the world of this value proposition. So, I mean, like this is a big deal.
Yeah, just for
you
IT.
to-
For
Hey,
IT.
by the way,
I have to make that clear.
Okay, but that's one of the largest IT in healthcare globally.
Yeah. It's
It
probably
is.
even larger than you even imagine.
I-
because I'm here at corporate.
Yes.
And I oversee it for corporate and just from an organizational perspective of our company.
Yep.
So HCA, the corporate office is here.
Yes.
We have 16 divisions across the United States, including in the UK. And
So I was right when I said global.
yes,
That wasn't-
we are definitely global. But the scope of culture and values that I oversee is
here in the
corporate IT. Is here corporate IT. It's still 800 plus, and I'm so proud of it. We're actually celebrating our 5th year of existence this year,
congratulations.
and it's just been so impactful, and that's what I'm most proud of. And I mean, I know it's impactful, but for me to have my colleagues
Yes.
email me or, and say how impactful it's been
Yep.
for them from the sense of belonging, having an opportunity for them to share about their culture
Yes.
and heritage. Like we have one tomorrow. This is AAPI month, and that's Asian
Pacific?
Pacific Islander,
Asian Pacific Islander.
Asian
Yep.
American Pacific Islander, I think. So that's what month it is, and so we celebrate a culture every month.
No, that's great.
And and then we also have a fireside chat, which makes it even better because a colleague or two has agreed to allow me to do a fireside chat with them. And
Well, that's what we're doing right now.
that's right. And they get to share with our colleagues about their culture.
I love it.
And so yes, I'm very, very proud of the impact and outcome of our ITG Culture and Values
Well said.
Council.
Well said.
Yeah.
That's the end of our first half. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will get into the big stuff, professional women's basketball here in Nash Vegas, and what Sheila Gibson is building next. We'll be right back.
Started as a kid with a team to believe in. Every win and loss left my heart still beating.
Welcome back. We're in the studio today with Sheila Gibson, and things are about to get interesting. Sheila, let's talk about Athletes Unlimited. You were instrumental in bringing their women's basketball season to Nashville in 2025, just last year. Walk us through how that actually happened. Who called it first, and how long did it take you to pull everything together?
Yes, let's talk about that because I get that often. And so Athletes Unlimited, as you said, it is a professional women's basketball team, and they came to Nashville last year. So how they got here, again, I have to go back to being able to be on the Nashville Sports Council and how that just opened.
With
so
my best
many-
friend, Scott.
Yeah, with your best friend, Scott. and how that opened up so many opportunities and again allowed me to continue to fuel my passion for sports. So I was on the sports council. I was leading the women in sports committee. And so one of the ladies that was on the committee with me, she actually works for Athletes Unlimited right now. Her name's Sherry Kemp.
Okay.
So initially, my engagement with Athletes Unlimited was for volleyball. So so there was a conversation, and they were planning to bring their volleyball.
Hence the word athletes, because it's across multiple
That's
sports.
right. Yes,
it's not just tied into one.
Athletes Unlimited has basketball, volleyball, softball. They had lacrosse, but they no longer have lacrosse. And actually, their primary or their first sport was the softball. Softball sport. And so so they were looking to bring their volleyball here. And so I was involved with the conversation around signing that contract with the Nashville CVC, with Butch Spearden at the time. He was the CEO. So I was in a meeting with Butch and the owners of Athletes Unlimited and Sherry at the time. Yep. And so volleyball, they signed a contract to bring volleyball here. And I was about to move forward, and then COVID hit. So COVID hit, and Nashville as a city ended up using the municipal, which is where they were going to play, as kind of like a rescue center. Yep. And so because of that, Athletes Unlimited didn't come. They took their volleyball somewhere else. And so, fast forward past, I guess that was 2020, 2022. Fast forward, Sherry and I were out to dinner. We were having dinner, and we were just, talking. At this time, she and Sherry actually was out of Mount Juliet, and she was the commissioner for the fast pitch softball, professional fast pitch softball, which a whole lot of people did not even know that corporate office was in Mount Juliet.
I think everybody's got an office here.
So Sherry was now working for Athletes Unlimited. We were having dinner, and we were just talking about, Athletes Unlimited and different things that's going on and opportunities there. And somewhere in the conversation, Sherry said, well, Sheila, you should bring Athletes Unlimited basketball to Nashville. And I was like, you're right, Sherry, I should. I think I'll do that. And so from that dinner, then, I started kind of my planning. And
actualizing it. I love it.
And I had already kind of formed a relationship with the CEO of AU, John Petronoff. And so what I did was I reached out to John because, again, going back to HCA, we were about to open up a brand new hospital that we had built in Dallas. Okay. Dallas is where their basketball season was actually being played.
Gotcha.
So I knew that I had to go to Dallas.
Yep.
I knew they were about to play their championship week. So that's kind of like the final week to crown the champion in the AU model. And they were going to have their championship week that week that I was going to be in Dallas. So I reached out to John. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in Dallas. Would love to come by and watch the game, the championship game. And of course, yeah, sure. Come on in. I'll take care of you. So went down there for work, ended up going to the game. And John and I were just talking. And I said, John, no disrespect or anything. I said, but if this is all the fan support that you all expect during a championship week for women's basketball, you need to bring this to Nashville.
Well said.
Because you bring this to Nashville, you will be blown away, and especially championship week. Yeah. And so that was kind of the start of the next step to the conversation. So following that, I came back to Nashville. Talked to a few, Nashville leaders that I know are just as passionate about basketball as I am. Formed what I called a Nashville organizing team. And, again, just, brought some of those leaders on. Monica Faulknotton from the Metro Sports Authority, Nancy Van Rees, Margaret Bem, who has been so instrumental also in me just being able to execute my passion and love for women's basketball. Who else? The Sports Council, of course, we had the support of the Sports Council. But, yeah, I formed a team. Yep. So I formed this team, Nashville Organizing Team, and reached back out to AU, and we started having meetings.
And that just led to it.
Yes.
And were they happy with their first time here?
Oh, yes. So, and that's one of the most important factors, the attendance at the games, because again they just came from Dallas.
Yep.
The attendance at the games that first year they came to Nashville was 125% higher than the attendance that they had in Dallas.
Didn't that make you feel good that you were right? I mean, you were going off a gut instinct.
Right,
And
right.
it was no longer gut. You then proved it. Now, did that help you to begin starting the new world, Upshot Nashville, of which you're one of the owners now? Tell us how this happened in terms of about the Upshot League and what's the difference between them and the WNBA?
So I think, having AU come here last year and, of course, successfully and just making sure everyone understands the AU model is a little different. It is 5-on-5, but it's not just the traditional 5-on-5 where you have teams from different cities.
Because they transition the team members switch. It's about individual stats.
It's all, one team or one pool of players built in 4 teams.
Right.
And so
it's fantasy basketball on steroids.
Okay. That's fine.
Because you can just follow your player. You make the bets on one player,
what it is.
and you can see everything, whereas we're always keeping track of that.
Right,
But
right.
your league, not your league, but the
AU
athletes,
league.
AU league, that is definitely there.
That is, and that's one of the differentiators that I used to use when people would ask, because if you're not used to it, you come to a game and you're like, okay, what's going on here? Or
Right.
you read about it, and that was one of the things I used to share. Like, it's instead of you following a team, you can follow your favorite players, because during that championship week, again, which is where, when I went to Dallas, they were looking to crown the champion player.
Right.
So it's not a champion team, it's a champion player. So so that's the AU model.
Okay.
And so again, they came last year, and then they came back this year, and the metrics were just as higher as far as the
heard about it.
participation.
Everyone heard about it. Yep.
And so I had mentioned, in AU again, for everything, social media is a factor,
Absolutely.
right? And so, everybody has their social media site, and and AU is no different. So, so it was an opportunity for not only for Nashville to participate and be there in person, but also just all of the different broadcasting, because they, the games were broadcast on ESPN2 and all of those different channels. So, all of that plays a factor in where we're about to go with the Upshot League.
With the 5th and 6th expansion team, of which you, one of the owners, Sheila, yes, that helped make it happen with you and Baltimore, are the 2 latest, I believe, franchises to enter Upshot.
Yes. Okay. So yes, let's talk Upshot and so
educate me
again, because I want to make sure that we have all of the facts clear.
Yep.
So AU is AU. And do I think that, having AU here for 2 straight years and being so successful was a factor in the owners of Upshot saying, okay, Nashville needs to be an extension city?
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I think, and especially with the movement and the momentum that we're seeing right now in women's and in particular, we're talking about women's basketball.
I think in a lot of baseball too. I mean,
Right, that's what I'm
Nashville,
saying.
people want the NBA to even come here.
Yes,
So I mean,
Nashville is a sports city.
we've got it going on.
So we
may not have a good football team, but by God, we've got other things going on.
Okay. We have a movement and momentum in women's sports going on here in Nashville right now.
I would
And
agree.
there's no doubt about that. And so, hence again, Upshot is coming. Upshot, they actually kicked off their season last weekend.
Oh, great.
So it's in 4 cities, right?
Okay.
So
And by the way, they play at Vanderbilt Memorial Gymnasium here.
when they come here. So right now there's 4 cities. In Charlotte, it's the Charlotte Crown, Greensboro Groove, Jacksonville Waves, and Savannah Steel. So those are the 4 cities that are kicking off this month for Upshot women's basketball, and it is professional basketball. So they're kicking off their league this month, and then next year is when that Upshot Nashville will be here in 2027. And
Is this our logo? Is this our new city logo right here?
I don't think so. This was we did a press conference probably about 3 weeks ago, and that was really just the focus of that was to announce that the team is coming.
Gotcha.
Again, everybody's on social media, so Upshot, a lot of people already knew about Upshot, but the press conference was to say, yes, Upshot is coming in May, but Upshot Nashville is coming in 2027.
I mean, I just feel this is huge for so many different reasons. Not only is it great for women's basketball, it's great for Nashville, but one of the hottest things going on, and I hear about this from the different, obviously, Superfan Diaries. I have a chance to meet all the way down to esports, video game companies, right? I mean, sports are so big,
Right.
but they're also so financially successful. Meaning if you start one of these volleyball leagues, start a women's professional ball team, within 5 to 6, 10 years, you may be 10 times your initial investment.
Right.
I mean, so I know going back to the corporate America piece, I think a lot of people may be interested in knowing, like, what is the cost, total cost to bring a new women's franchise to Nashville or Baltimore?
Oh, again, I wish
idea?
I knew that. I
Okay,
have
you don't
an
know
idea.
that? Okay.
Right. And let me go back to Upshot also, Upshot Nashville. So that is going to be, kind of the team. And
Because I know we got a lot of rich people in this city that might want to invest. And so that's why I'm loading the question out
maybe
there.
so. And
I'll send them your way. You all know her name now. Reach out to us.
Don't send them my way. So that leads me into, making sure, because I want to make sure that, everything is aligned and clear. So Upshot Nashville, I mentioned Nancy Van Reese's name.
Yes.
Nancy was on the organizing team that I put together. She's awesome, former councilwoman, and she's just done so much in this city of Nashville. So Nancy Van Reese is the CEO and president of the Upshot Nashville team. So yes, all of those, questions that you probably have about Upshot, and have Nancy on this show.
Perfect. Will do.
Absolutely. But again, as you said, I am, definitely an ambassador, going to be an ambassador for Upshot Nashville, as well as a minority owner. I'm excited to bring it here. I did watch the game this past weekend for the first two teams. And right now there's just, Nancy is just, very busy,
No doubt.
seeking
Starting a new
corporate
league.
sponsorship. We're definitely looking for corporate sponsorship. There'll be all of the different opportunities for branding and volunteers and community events and community service, just like any other sports organization that, what that brings to Nashville. So yes, definitely looking for all of that. I think there's going to be an event in July. I don't know the date, but the name of the team is going to be revealed.
Oh,
I
so
think
exciting.
in July.
It's just,
So-
I mean, I was just at a show earlier around the uniforms, the coloring. This is a big deal. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
people get into this. Even the sneakers, Sheila, sneakers are a big deal. So
right.
I think it's amazing. Well, we're so excited about this. Thank you for all your leadership to make it happen. And now I want to jump to another thing. Playmakers Nashville.
All right.
For our listeners, let us know, what is the mission and what does this gap fill?
So Playmakers Nashville, and there's a whole story to that as well. During my time on the Nashville Sports Council, again, I mentioned that I led the Women in Sports Committee, and just and I was on the board for 8 years.
Yep.
And so just learned a lot, experienced a lot, and one of the things that I definitely noticed was kind of a gap for a community and network for women in the sports industry. And I had a lot of thoughts about that. Again, I'm in corporate America, but I still have this passion for sports, being able to go to games with women or others that have the same level of passion that I do for sports. And so one of the things I had always thought about was, man, it would feel such a gap to have like a Nashville Sports Council for women.
Yes.
And that was actually one of the things that I was thinking about, even, as I was doing the AU, that just kind of, exposed me to even more of the need and the gap that existed, because we have 3 or 4 sports teams here in Nashville, the Titans, the Preds, the
Nashville
Sounds,
soccer.
the soccer, right. And all of those organizations.
Upshot Nashville now.
Right. And all of those organizations have leadership roles.
Huge.
And a lot of those organizations have women in leadership roles.
Yep.
And so, there needs to be a network and a community and a place for those women to be able to connect and go. And whether it's go to be around other women in the sports industry, or even to go for professional development or to go for mentorship.
Yes.
All of that was a huge gap in Nashville. And so hence Playmakers Nashville, and I met these 2 amazing women, and this was during AU this year.
Yep.
Erin Ryder and Emma Bradley. And Emma was actually from here, Aaron's from New York, but they were both relocating back to Nashville.
Okay.
And so because they were in the sports industry, what were they doing? They were looking for that community.
You
They
darn
were
right.
looking for that network. And just, through some of their search for it, obviously, names will come up. And so I think Sheila Gibson was one of the names that came up to them
Yep.
just to meet and talk. And that's what we did. And so I got a better understanding of what they were looking for and the ideal that they had. And that was to start a nonprofit
Yep.
to fill this gap. And I was like,
Mentorships, support for future
yes,
athletes. I mean, because it's
absolutely, yes, let's do it. And so they moved forward. They had, meetings with the sports council. They came and met
Yep.
with Scott Ramsey, and talked
Butch.
about it, and had Butch. Now it's Dina.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Dina
Dina,
Ivey.
Yep. Yep.
But had, they just, went around and had different conversations with all of the different, both, corporate leaders, corporate organizations, community organizations that would be required to support this. And so they formed Playmakers Nashville. And what's interesting is the launch.
Congratulations, by the way, because this is a wonderful organization you all have helped put together.
It is awesome. And like I said, the mission, and it goes back to all of those things that I talked about at the beginning that weren't there
Yep.
when I was growing up. When I think about, my why Playmakers Nashville is so important to me.
Yep.
And it's because of those things, again, that I know that didn't exist. The ability to elevate women's sports,
That's a great way to put it.
to empower the ladies that are in the swim lane now, or those college students that want to get in the swim lane, empower them through educating them, and making sure that those networks exist for them.
Yep.
And so that's what Playmakers Nashville has done in Nashville. And the launch of Playmakers Nashville, actually our launch aligned with the kickoff AU.
Oh, there you go. I mean,
And,
seamless.
Yeah, so
Seamless.
that was great. The organization we launched with five founding partners.
Yep.
Which for those of you that are kind of familiar with the nonprofit world, that is major. To be
Yes.
able to launch a nonprofit
Yeah.
with 5 founding
It's really hard to do a 501c3,
That's right.
just point
Period.
blank.
But to do one with 5 founding partners,
Wow.
and who were those partners? Some of the key organizations
Right.
here: the Titans, the Predators, the Sounds,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
I mean, you just pulled in the heavies.
Vanderbilt, that's
and
right.
HCA, is HCA the other one?
Not yet.
Yeah.
And then another
Might as well. I mean, that
organization
seems
called
that-
Rebel Girls. So those are our 5 founding partners.
Don't forget Pilot
But-
Oil. Get
but-
them too.
That's right. That's what we're yes. But to be able to launch with that many founding partners,
Oh, that's
and now here we are from February, and we're in May.
Yep.
And it's membership driven. So there's 4 cohorts. There's starters, captain. No, 3.
Yep. I saw it
Starters,
online.
You saw starters, captains, champions, and at some point we're going to add high school.
And by the way, we're going to put this on Superfan Diaries. So for
Yes.
you all listening on the podcast, we will have everything about this detailed for the different starters and membership if you're interested.
Yes, and the starters are college students.
Got
So
it.
whether you're in undergraduate in a sports industry, study, or even a graduate student, and for starters, the membership is free.
Can't beat that.
That's right. We want to get them where they are, start that impact, start that exposure to them, and then we have the captains, which I think is 1 to 9 years in the sports industry, and then the champions are those at more executive level. But yes, we launched in February, and we're already at over 250 members
What a great thing for our
across
community.
our cohorts.
Outstanding
And
work by you, Sheila.
the great thing is not just Sheila. Just
I know. You love to spread the wealth. I'm so
I
impressed with the
do.
humility next to me right here today, folks.
a team player.
I love it.
There's no I in team. And this past Friday, we actually had our first event for our captains of bringing your authentic self to work. But more importantly, we presented our first 5 scholarships.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
We talked about that earlier.
That's
and
right.
being able to present, number one, you just founded this organization. You've already grown it to 200, and you've already done your first 5 scholarships.
Right. In less than 6 months.
Another congratulations.
Half a year.
That
Yes.
is,
It is.
I mean, what more can you say? Well,
Yeah.
with that, it's now time to turn to Desert Fan Island, the Sheila Gibson edition. All right, Sheila. Pretend you're trapped on a deserted island. Basketball arena inside.
I'm
Jumbotron.
trapped.
You're trapped. It's
I'm
just you.
trapped and the
You
island
are-
is deserted.
That's right. It's just you.
Okay.
You're on a basketball court. You get one movie. You get one musical artist, one food, one drink, and one person. What's the one movie you're going to have on the
On a
jumbo?
basketball court, I'm going to want to have Love and Basketball.
Okay. Love it. All right. Number
Okay.
2, one musical artist.
One musical
Just one.
artist. You know what? And I don't know where he's at. So if you out there listening to this, I need you to make me some more music. But Jaheim.
Yes.
Jaheim.
Yes. I've
I don't know.
heard
I don't know.
Jaheim.
Right.
Yes. Where did he go?
I don't know. That's why I hope he's listening. Like, dude,
Jaheim.
I need some more music.
You got some love today, Jaheim. All right. One food. One
Pizza.
food. Oh, that's an easy one.
Pizza.
Pepperoni, any
Pizza.
toppings?
Pepperoni and sausage pizza.
Pepperoni sausage. One drink.
Um,
You can go boring or you can go exciting. Whatever you want.
Water. If I don't have any water, like I'm on an island.
You're on an
I have some
island. You
water.
need some water.
But
All right,
yeah,
if you
I
don't-
need some fresh water.
All right, fresh water.
So water or a cocktail.
Okay, what kind of cocktail? Let's pretend the water is plentiful on this deserted island with a waterfall.
A cosmopolitan with Grey Goose, a splash of pineapple, and a sugar rim.
Sounds so good. No one's done that yet on the show, folks. That's a first, and that sounds really
You know
good.
what's interesting? I have like so many of my friends that could have told you that same drink.
That
Like
Cosmo,
my drink
yep.
is memorized by my friends.
I love it. That means those are good friends, by the way. All right, one person. Who are you going to bring with you?
Ooh, well, he's not, spiritually God. I gotta have God.
All right, let's take it.
Especially
God's
if
a darn good
it's
answer.
deserted and
Let's-
an island.
let's bring it.
I'm gonna need God with me.
All right, God's going to be with you, but now
Okay,
here's a bonus question.
Okay.
You got that one done. Bonus question is pretend AI gives you brand new knees, the ability to play like you're 18 again. Yes, that All-American Sheila Gibson. What women's basketball player are you taking one-on-one for some hidden gold that's hidden on the island?
Ooh,
Who are you going one-on-one with?
let's see. I don't know. Gosh,
Gotta pick somebody.
I'll say somebody that's like, we're gonna be able to relate to right now.
Yep. You are stuck with them, so it's kind of like you don't want someone you hate.
Yeah, Angel Reese.
Oh, that'd be
Angel
fun.
Reese, because I like.
What's your
Angel
score?
Reese.
What's your score going to be? You versus her, one-on-one. You're full.
I'm winning.
Yeah,
I'm going to win because I was a defensive specialist.
Okay. Yep.
And I could defend her.
I love it. Angel Reese
I could defend
versus
her.
Sheila Gibson.
Yeah.
What's the final score to 21? Who gets 21? 21 what?
21 to 17.
Oh, it's a good game,
Sheila
though.
wins.
Sheila wins. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. It's time for a quick break, our last break. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a review. Tell a friend. And we'll be right back with the buzzer beater.
Started as a kid with a team to believe in. Every win and loss left my heart still beating.
Welcome back. The final stretch with Sheila Gibson. All right, Sheila, we were touching into some amazing things before, some of the great work that you're doing in the community of Nashville. What do you want young women in Nashville, like my daughter, young athletes especially, to take from your story?
Several, but I'll kind of focus on, because I always go back to what was not available when I was coming up.
Yep.
And
Not only that, you're 4 injuries. You've had 4 knee
That's
surgeries.
true.
This
That's
is
true.
That's
true.
real.
So I would say, if you love sports, you don't have to be an athlete to have a profession or a future in the sports industry. Definitely, because coming up, that was kind of one of the misconceptions.
Yep.
Is that, and like I said, it's, you either, go to the next level or you coach. But definitely, I just want those young girls that are just love sports, because I just love sports. Not that I'm that great of an athlete,
You're
but
a
I
super
want to
fan
stay.
just because you're a fan.
You're a super fan. There you
That's
go.
right.
That there is opportunity for you. Having a future in sports is not just for men. It is not just for those females or young girls that are good at sports. You have a passion for sports and you see, someone and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. You can do that. Work
Yep.
hard. Do your homework. Do your research. Because I tell people this about healthcare as well. In healthcare and definitely in sports, there is a role for almost anything that you major in, whether it's marketing, whether it's business, whether it's advertising, video.
Yeah.
All of that, all of those are jobs that you can have in the sports industry.
That's excellent. Not many people think about that because, right now when you first started talking today, I'm thinking about I'm a dad and I get into the athletic activity. And sometimes us parents, it's different today than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We get fired up.
That's
I mean,
right.
we're in it and we are like,
right.
okay, 6 a.m. You want to be on the track team? You want to win? It's time to go jog. Let's go jog. And it's that push, which I think is somewhat healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to bond with my daughter, but there's also that piece of you got to, it's what do they say? Let it go, let it go.
Yes.
And you've got to let them kind of find their own way.
That's right.
So that they have the passion.
You have a daughter that loves data, that loves to be analytical, that loves technology. Guess
Loves
what?
architecture.
Architecture. You
Painting.
know what? Go build a stadium.
That's
so it really, I mean,
Well
it
said.
really is true. And our young leaders need to understand that there is a role
It's
for
not
you
just about
in
being the
sports.
perfect athlete.
That's right.
I love that because
That's
so
right.
much, if you think about a lot of the history that even I was raised with, and even today, Sheila, it exists. There's the athletic children and there's the smart children.
That's right.
And there's a whole gap of other kids that aren't at the top of the class brains, and they're not the superstars that are already getting looked at by, you name the team of any type of women or men's activity. If you're an athlete, you're looked at. The attention for all the middle folks is huge. And I've always one big thing I've been doing, even with my own world of UT and my Magic Tux, is courage and confidence about what you want to do. And you just spoke to it. And that's so big.
That's right. And, I think about, back when I was growing up, even cheerleading. Those cheerleaders were not considered athletes.
Oh, they worked so
They
hard.
are now. They're
Yeah.
they're athletes. They're strong. They're flexible. They have to do all of the.
Have you seen those tumbles? Have you seen
a
some
lot
of
of
those
the
tumbles?
same preparation for being an athlete with the ball.
Yep.
Athletes, it's just not about having a ball or a puck or a bat or, it's wide open. It's wide open now. And I really do encourage parents who, think that there's not a future for their kids in the sports industry unless there's a top athlete. That is just not true.
I think you're the first person ever on our show to mention something like this, because it usually we drive so much into the fandom of watching athletes that we sometimes don't step back to look at all the other activity that's going
right.
on around sports, which is, I hate to say omnipresent, but it is.
Right.
I mean, it's everywhere.
Right.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Right.
Thank you. It's now time for the buzzer beater rapid fire. And I'm not going to let her look at these questions early. I know she's trying to, folks, but Sheila, quick answers right here at the studio. Let's go. Favorite women's basketball player of all time?
I think I would have to say Cheryl Miller.
Okay.
And that's because that was one of my experiences. I mentioned I played AAU, and growing up when I was playing AAU, I actually got to play up. And
course
never
you did.
forget this.
You're no cringe girl.
We went to the Nationals, and that was my first time seeing Cheryl Miller, Kim Mulkey.
Oh, wow.
The two twins, I forgot their last, McGee twins, Janice Lawrence, and Donovan. All of them were at this tournament. And, of course, I had been following Cheryl Miller, and I'm just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, now I'm like in the gym. My team is playing. I don't even think I got in that game, but that's
Yeah.
fine because I was playing up. It was more for me. It was
you
about
have
the
fun.
experience and exposure. And that was my exposure that I remember being able to be in the gym with those awesome players that I was following.
Number 2, best game you ever played in college, and what happened to make it the best?
Ooh,
And we all know you played one season, sophomore. That was your year.
the whole year.
That was your beautiful year. There had to be one moment in that game where you did some amazing defense, blocking 4 shots, something wild.
Gosh, I don't know. I can't remember. I remember when I was at University of Alabama, Huntsville, I played inside, and I was a driver and a aggressive driver. Like
Yeah.
I would, drive to the basket. And one of the games I remember was playing against Alabama, and we didn't beat them, but it was my opportunity again to just, show that. And this is again just kind of a thing for young girls is that it does, you don't have to be that big tallest person on the inside. I
still
love
drove.
the fact that's right. I love the fact that,
love it.
I wasn't always the tallest, but people knew that, you better be honest with yourself and guard me because I can drive on you or I can shoot the jumper on you. And that was kind of what I was known for outside of my defense. My high school coach put an article, I just read it the other day, and she said that I was the best one-on-one player that she ever coached.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And that was Jill Pruden, who's in the Tennessee Hall of Fame.
Next question. Tell us where women's sports are in Nashville in 5 years.
In 5 years?
5 years from now. Nashville in 5 years. What does women's sports look like?
In 5 years, I think definitely, there will be another
they're gonna be Upshot team.
pro team.
Yeah.
Upshot will be here. Potentially, WNBA. I would love for the WNBA to be here.
We'd have 2 pro teams. That'd be pretty incredible.
I think there's a potential. Even I know there's been some diligence done on bringing a women's professional soccer team here. For sure. I think volleyball will be at a whole different level because, of course, Vanderbilt kicked off their inaugural year for volleyball this year. And you said it at the beginning, volleyball is on the rise.
Don't forget bowling. Vanderbilt has 3 national titles.
That's right.
In Vanderbilt bowling.
They did great this year. I think softball has been having great momentum. I think that will continue.
What about women's golf? Why do we not have an LPGA? We had an LIV event here recently for the men. How come we don't have women's LPGA coming through Nashville?
And who knows, in 5 years we might.
There we go. Answer my own 5 questions. All right. If the Nashville Upshot team wins a championship in year 1, where are you celebrating?
Ooh.
With that Cosmopolitan?
If it was my decision, we would celebrate on Broadway, right there, in that area in front of the Bridgestone Arena, right there. Block the streets off and have a big block party because I would want not only the city of Nashville to be able to come to the celebration, but also that would be a great opportunity for all of those visitors because we all know that hardly anyone that lives in Nashville is down on Broadway.
No, that's right. We don't go. We all stay down.
So,
I know.
Right. So it will be a Saturday celebration on Broadway, block the streets.
I love it.
And have all of the fanfare on that plaza right there in front of Bridgestone. Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Live music.
That's the way to...
All of it.
A perfect way to get ready to close today. Well, listen, before we go into the close, where can people find more information about the work you're doing and the teams you're supporting?
Absolutely. So more work in regards to Playmakers Nashville. Visit them on their website at playmakersnashville.org. Also, of course, we're on social media. So Instagram, kind of same thing, Playmakers Nashville. And then I would really, really encourage you to visit the website for Nashville Upshot team. That's NashvilleUpshot.com.
Yep.
But also, of course, they're on Instagram, as well. And also just the Upshot League, because that's where you can kind of, start following it and getting the information, seeing the scores, looking at, some of the players that are there. I actually saw, one of the players that played with AU this year. She's playing on the Charlotte team for Upshot Nashville. So, it's just there's this movement and this momentum that's going on right now again, and for women. For women empowerment, women's sports, women. And it's time. We didn't just get good.
No.
We've been good.
That's right.
And it's just about the viewership and, the broadcasting companies opening up, the TV networks opening up, and, jump on board.
Hey, there's a reason.
Join the fun.
Yeah, there's a reason the WNBA for women, when Caitlin Clark played Iowa, had better views and more Nielsen ratings than I believe the UConn game that won.
That's right.
I believe that's a fact. I've said a lot of things that may not be fact. I think that is.
Yeah. And it's just, it's that moment in time. And the time is now.
You couldn't have said it better. Sheila, you stepped off the court decades ago, but you never stopped playing. You just changed the game you were in. From UNO to HCA, from AAU courts to boardrooms, from fighting for a seat at the table to building the table itself. And now professional women's basketball is coming to Nashville because of people like you who refuse to wait for someone else to make it happen. You are proof that the greatest athletes are not always the ones still in uniform. Sometimes they are the ones in the room making sure the next generation gets to wear one. This is the Superfan Diaries. I'm J.R. Greene. Follow, review, and nominate your favorite Superfan at superfandiaries.com. And remember, if you make one person smile today, you've had a great day. Make them laugh even better. Let's go!
Let's go.